spermatophyte taxonomy, I welcome all the distinguished participants, awardees, Professor Nampi, today's awardee, and other awardees who have joined with us, members of the East Himalayan Society and office bearers of the East Himalayan Society for a Spermatophyte Taxonomy. I welcome everyone to this program. In fact, the program was scheduled according to the convenience of Professor Todd Stussy, because we wanted that he should also join and grace the occasion. So he may join up after some time. But in the meantime, I would like to tell the audience that this function of the East Himalayan Society for Spermatophyte Taxonomy is being jointly organized by the Mansarovar Global University and with the East Himalayan Society for Spermatophyte Taxonomy. Now, if we see the genesis of this society, in fact, the idea of this society came to the mind of Professor A.P. Das in 2004 when he was head of the botany department, North Bengal University in Siliguri. And since then, he and also I were discussing about the society, and formally on May 27, 2007, this society was founded. I also attended the meeting where a number of distinguished botanists and taxonomists participated, and it was decided to have a society in the name of East Himalayan Society for Spermatophyte Taxonomy. And then the idea was that the taxonomists who are working in the northeastern region, eastern Himalayan region, they should eventually, and also they can publish their papers in the journal which was started and in the name of Leon. It is being published. It is an international journal, and it has in this year it has reached to the 14th volume. So regularly credit goes to Professor A.P. Das for continuously working not only for the society but also at the same time for the publication of the papers in the Leon, because it is published on 30th of June and 31st of December every year. And since past time, so it is all the work of Leon is now, it is an international journal, and a large number of papers on taxonomy and ethnobotany are being published. Now, coming to the award for this year, in fact, we know that there are a number of awards. Ainuyata Award, then Professor A.P. Das Award, Arun Pandey Award, and Badal Datta Award. I would request, of course, to Professor A.P. Das. In fact, he is, as you can see, he is in the hospital and diagnosed is corona positive. But even then, you can see that he has joined us, and I would request Professor A.P. Das to tell us about the awards of the EHSST. Professor Das.
Thank you, President Professor Pandey. Yes, Our first award we started giving, that was Dr. T.M. Hainota Biodiversity Gold Medal. That we started in 2010. In 2012, your student Azmal Ali instituted one medal in your name, Arun Pandey Biodiversity Medal. Then next year, my student Dr. Chandra Ghosh instituted another medal, Epidas Biodiversity Medal. Later on, one student from Tripura, I'm forgetting his name immediately, Badal Datto, Professor Badal Datto student, he instituted So these are the ways. But we were constantly thinking that how to improve the situation, how to bring people from larger area. We decided that we should request Professor Todd to see if he agrees to institute a medal in his name. Of course, arrangement will be done by us. His illustrious student, Professor Pandey, he contacted him, and so nice of him, he agreed. So Professor Pandey is instrumental in instituting this international prize. This is our most prestigious international prize at this moment. So we are thankful to Professor Pandey for instituting this medal. And this is the first year when we are going to deliver this medal, first year. So I appreciate Professor Nampi for being awarded with this for the first time. But story is not ends here. Story will continue because next year you will find another very important award distributed by our society. So under this situation, I request my members to appreciate Professor Pandey for instituting the Professor Todd F2C medal. Medals have been prepared at Siliguri. Those are in my Kolkata house, and I am in Kolkata hospital. So I can deliver those medals only after returning to home. That is the condition. Now I request the President.
She has already, trying to join.
Fine, nice.
So I'm sending him the password and email.
Okay, okay.
So if you, Professor Das, if you want to say something more about the society and the awards or anything, you can continue.
Yeah, you understand. This is this is my heart. I started it in 2004. It was launched in 2007. And from that day itself, we issued released the first issue of our journal Plion. That in that meeting, people even from Kathmandu, from Bhagalpur, from Guwahati, from so many places, people came to attend that meeting, I remember. We had organized a good lunch also. So anyway, that meeting was successful. Otherwise, how we are still moving on. Our society is moving on. Our journal is too much appreciated, but I don't know, except UGC, they are creating some problem. But I believe our journal is very good. Everyone appreciates it in other countries, not in India, maybe. So this is the condition. We organize a seminar every year. Started in 2010. In 2010, we started it in my department in North Bengal University. Then it was organized by many places. BSI organized it twice. Then Assam University, Silchar organized it. Shillong, Northeastern Hill University organized it. Then, sorry, I was forgetting. Nagaland organized it. By the organizing secretary was our Chaturvedi. SK Sunil Chaturvedi was the organizing secretary. So our society is moving, but due to some reason, uh, after the last BSI Shillong conference, we could not organize a meeting. Due to some local problem, it was supposed to be held at Itanagar, Arunachal Pradesh, but due to certain local problem, it was not held. But now again we started with a webinar. When the situation will be open, again we shall start the local gathering that may be anywhere. Even we can come to Srinagar or somewhere, anywhere, anybody interested, we can organize such a meeting. Now this is the condition. Now many people will be interested to open awards under this society. But one thing I should say, at the beginning, when no one was interested to provide some fund to install a medal, that time Dr. Hainuta gave us a good amount to install this good uh, gold medal. We initiated that. Later on, immediately, Ajmal did it, Chandra did it, and again I am forgetting his name. Very sorry, very sorry. From Tripura, Agartala, he initiated this medal. After that, many people came with proposal but never deposited money. But if you do not deposit money, then how we shall run the show? We have to purchase expenses. Where from it will come? So just propose and go away. Don't do that. If you are really interested to install a medal, please deposit the amount in society's account. We do not take cash. Even nowadays, we are not taking check or draft. You directly transfer money to our society's account. That our accountant will look after. So in that way, we are progressing with our society. Now, after this webinar, I think this webinar is the first of its kind, at least in India, where any society has declared its awards, selected the awardees, and now ready to deliver the awards through webinar. I think this is the unique of its kind in our country. Maybe some other organization will follow later on, but we declared it 2 to 3 months back. In August itself, we declared on 10th or 9th or 10th August, we declared that awards will be given through webinar. So in this way, I think we are quite ahead of other organizations. Our members, not bad. Now we are having nearly 340 members. Mostly Indian, it is true, but of course there are many foreign members from Nepal, from Sikkim, from Bangladesh, from Bhutan, from USA, from Germany. We are having members. We cannot take any higher amount from the members from other countries because in that case we shall not get. We are having members from Switzerland also. From Switzerland also, sorry, not Switzerland, Sweden. From Sweden also we are having members. So we cannot take so much money. Taking money from foreigners also restricted. We cannot take any amount. So so only thing, we cannot send the hard copy of journal to them. We send hard copy of journal to our mostly in Indian members. Even in Nepal, it is difficult. Nepal postage is quite high. It is difficult. So anyone coming from Nepal or Bhutan, from Bangladesh, they collect the journal from our office. Or if they ask that please send the journal to this Indian address, we shall send it to that Indian address and they will collect it. In this way, we are circulating our journal. Our journal, you know, it is regularly recorded in IPNI, in the plant list, the world plants of the world online, everywhere. Recently, I noticed one thing. One genus, you know, Costas speciosus. It is now it's changed to Helenia speciosus by our student Suchandra Datto, and it is there in Plants of the World Online, and that was published in Plio. So in this way, you are having some very good publications. Our acceptance is everywhere. Now I request all of you, please take more initiative to make our journal much better. We are having maybe some official drawbacks. Please come ahead. I am now old man, so please help me to overcome all those official problems. So that again we can come back to UGC care list. With this, I request the president to take over the mic.
Thank you, Professor Das, for giving an overview of this society and how this society started and what are different functions and how we are moving ahead. Professor Todd Stussy is trying to join the meeting, but there may be some issues. But
I'm here.
Yeah. Good,
Hi, I made it.
morning,
Finally.
Professor Stussy. Everybody was
Hi.
in fact,
Sorry, everybody.
our founder secretary is calling from the, he's in the hospital right now.
Yeah, I'm from hospital bed. I'm calling you, Professor Stussy.
So again, we are going to start the program. In fact, Professor Stussy, welcome to this meeting of the East Himalayan Society of Spermatophyte Taxonomy. Professor Stussy, are you hearing?
Yes, yes.
Yes.
No, I'm here. Yes, Arun, it's a pleasure to participate. It's a little early.
Confusion about the timing,
Yeah, right. I jumped out of bed and just turned on the computer before I was going down to have breakfast, just to be. And then I saw your message. I thought, whoa.
Thank you so much. We are going to start the program, and on behalf of the Mansarovar Global University and East Himalayan Society for Spermatophyte Taxonomy, I welcome Professor Todd Stussy, members of the East Himalayan Society, awardees, and dear participants. In fact, we all know that during COVID-19 pandemic, it is not possible to organize conferences where we can physically meet. But this is the online program which has been organized to felicitate the taxonomists. In fact, our society has a number of awards, and the award function is spread over 2 days. In fact, today it will be only one award function, that is Professor Todd Stussy Award, and tomorrow we will be having rest of the awards. And the reason of starting in the late evening is that we wanted that Honorable Professor Stussy also joins us in this particular award function. And in fact, we have already discussed about that the society was founded in 2007, and now it also publishes a journal, Pleon, which has now its 14th volume with us. And this year, Professor Todd Stussy Award was instituted to honor the most distinguished plant systematist, Professor Todd Stussy. And Professor Stussy needs no introduction because almost everyone, all botanists and taxonomists ecologists, environmental biologists, they very well know about his contributions to the plant biology. But uh, uh, for the audience who are present in this meeting, I would like to say very briefly about Professor Istusi, in whose name we have today's function of the Professor Istusi Gold Medal Award. Now, Professor Istusi is emeritus professor in the Ohio State University, Columbus, the University to the field of systematics, principles of classification, island biology, speciation, more than 300 research papers, and he has been awarded the Engler Medal in Gold and also a Stubbins Medal by the International Association for Plant Taxonomy, and also he is a recipient of the Asa Gray Award of the American Society of Plant Taxonomy. At the same time, he was president of the Society of International Botanical Congress, which was held in Vienna in 2005. He has been the chair of the plant biology of the Herbarium and Museum of Biological Diversity at the Ohio State University. And also he has served for a long time, about 15 years, as a head of the systematic and evolutionary botany. And also he was director of the Botany Garden of the University of Vienna. It is just briefly I have mentioned about Professor Istusi. And one more thing I would like to tell the audience, that Professor Istusi, he has been very supportive of our activities in India. When he was Secretary General, he was Secretary General of the International Association for Plant Taxonomy, and during that period, he visited India. He came to Bhagalpur to attend, to deliver keynote address. He came to Pune, he came to Delhi, came to Aurangabad, and many of us, we have already interacted with him. And when he was the Secretary General, he supported our activity that IAT, Indian Association for Angiosperm Taxonomy, it becomes an affiliate member of the IAPT. So, and IAAT has been receiving grant support for organizing conferences and workshops and so on. So, with this brief introduction about Professor Istusi, I would request Professor Istusi to illustrate Professor Santosh Nampi. But before that, I would like to show the medal and the certificate.
Yeah, please. Share the PowerPoint. Yes, share it.
Share.
Share it at the center. At the center, that blue point.
Share screen.
Yes, that blue point, share. Share the blue point. Whatever. Oh, that blue point. Why so many things are open?
I think I'm trying to open it.
So many files open.
I don't know. Okay. In fact, I think Professor Nampi has also a slide of this. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Professor, you see, I think it is not opening. I don't know. Oh, okay. Now it has opened.
Yes, it is open.
Can you see the slide?
That's the next one.
Next,
So,
full screen mode. Yes. Yes, full screen mode. Full screen mode, please.
yeah.
Yes, then next.
So, this
Yes.
and this is the certificate. So now I will request, of course it will be online, I will request Professor Istusi to decorate Professor Santosh Nampi. Of course, before that I would like to read a citation of Professor Nampi. Professor Santosh Nampi is one of our foremost plant taxonomists who has made significant contributions through monographic revisions and floristics of India in general and Western Ghats in particular. He has revised such taxonomically complex and phytogeographically interesting taxa like Gesneriaceae, Sonerilla, and many others. Through these works, he could describe 30 taxa new to science, which also include one new genus, Cansporinella of Gentianaceae. Solving the molecular phylogeny of the complex genera Erythema and Henkelia is another worthy contribution of Dr. Nampi. Equally creditable is his work on the pollination biology of several Clistogamous taxa of Comelainaceae, and he has shown for the first time the mechanism of pollination and reproductive assurance in members of Comelainaceae. Analysis of prey spectra in the bladders of Insectivorous utricularia is another unique contribution. It is no wonder several recognitions and distinctions have come in search of Professor enthused many others take up floristics and taxonomy in the larger interest of bioresource. Professor Istusi to honor the award, Professor Santosh Nampi with Professor Todd Istusi Award. It is a very rare occasion for all of us. Professor Istusi.
Arun, are
Yeah.
can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Well, Arun, thank you, first of all, for all your kind comments. You always overdo that, but but it's much appreciated from my heart. Thank you. Well, I feel a little bit awkward in conferring a medal that has my name on it. But in the spirit of all this, I am just delighted to be here this morning to confer this medal in his career so far, and there are many decades to go. I just want to say a couple words about this because the whole spirit of this award is to recognize people that have really done outstanding work in plant systematics. And in that spirit, Professor Nampi really is qualified to get this medal. What impresses me is all the different families that he's worked with. I mean, I've worked primarily in the compositae. Well, okay, that's a big family. There are a lot of species, but Professor Nampi has, looked at the Araceae, Comelainaceae, Gesneriaceae, the Gentianaceae, even the Polypodiaceae. And this takes a lot of self-confidence and an ability to adjust very quickly to another set of characters and to be able to make contributions. So this to me is extremely impressive. Then you add to that the mentoring of as many students, his administrative qualities. And in fact, he's editor of Redia now, as all of you know. And in all of that, I'm just delighted to be able to confer this Tadas Tusi Medal to Professor San.
Now, I would request Professor Santosh Nampi, who been selected by the committee constituted for the Professor Tadas Tusi Award, to deliver his award lecture. Professor Santosh Nampi. Unmute yourself, Professor Nampi. Unmute.
Professor Nampi, you are already muted. Unmute.
Unmute. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Dear Professor A.K. Pandey sir, dear Professor A.P. sir, Professor Tusi, distinguished fellow scientists, good evening to all. Thank you very much for this great recognition honored on me. At the outset, I would like to thank the Ehsst Himalayan Society for Spermatophite Taxonomy, particularly Professor, all the executive members, for choosing me to this prestigious award instituted on behalf of Professor Tusi. I am deeply honored to receive this recognition from Professor Tusi, who has significantly contributed on plant taxonomy and to the International Association for Plant Taxonomy. Thank you for all the encouragement. Thank you for all the support, sirs. I want to acknowledge my students who are my real strengths, and I am so pleased to share this recognition with them. Thank you. Let me start my presentation on Dictionary of India. We have started working on the family Gesneriaceae almost 10 years back, and we are collaborating at present with two major institutes in the world, Institute of Botany, Chinese Academy of Sciences, and also with the Royal Botanical Garden, Edinburgh, with Professor Muller. And one of my students also who has took PhD in the Gesneriaceae of Southern Peninsular India. Still, we have a project funded by SERB to study on the, may I start to present on my findings on the Gesneriaceae. Gesneriaceae are a medium-sized plant family of the order Lamiales, with approximately 3,400 species distributed in the tropics and old world, subtropics of the old world and new world, and some species distributed in the Europe and the southern hemisphere. The family has been extensively studied in the new world, but the studies on paleotropic Gesneriaceae are lagging behind. Even though some of the genera in the old world has been revised, most of the genera still remains untouched. The scenario in India is also almost same. Not much work has been done, except few works focusing on India as well as in the northeastern India. There is no monographic revision on the family as a whole in India. Till now, we rely on the century-old work by C.B. Clarke in the Flora of British India. Another important aspect on Gesneriaceae is the high percentage of endemism. Almost it is so high even in species of Gesneriaceae, species of Henkelia in South India, where 15 out of 16 species of South India are endemic. That means 93% of the species of South Indian Henkelia are endemic. Even we have one genus that is endemic to India. Similarly, most of the basal Asiatic genus of Gesneriaceae are occurring in the Indian subcontinent, either in the Indian region or in the Sino-Himalayan region, showing that they originated at the Indian Chinese belt. So this all reflects how much significant the studies on Gesneriaceae are. Some of the interesting features on Gesneriaceae, we can find the most species genus of Gesneriaceae are Citrandra with around 600 to 800 species, followed by Columnae and Basileria distributed in the neotropics with 200 species each. Of the 150 genera, 1/4 of them are monotypic, represented by one species alone. Both Asia and Malaysia and America, there are around 60 genera, while in Africa there are 9 genera and 160 species. In Europe, there is only 3 genera with 6 species. 9 genera with 20 species have a distinctly southern hemisphere distribution. Only 2 genera have a transcontinental distribution. One is Ringoglossum, which is mostly Asiatic in distribution, but one species is occurring in neotropics. Similarly, the other genus, which is showing transcontinental distribution, is Epithema, one species in Western Africa, while most in mainland of Asia and Malaysia. Traditionally, Gesneriaceae has been classified into 2 subfamilies, Gesnerioideae, principally of New World Gesneriads, and Citrandoideae, mostly of Asiatic. While in 2013, Webb et al., based on molecular phylogenetic data, recognized 3 subfamilies, subfamily Sanangoideae, is monotypic and monospecific with Sanango racemosum, endemic to South America, while subfamilies Gesnerioideae, which represent most of the New World Gesneriads, plus one of the recently included Old World Titanotrachum, which is predominantly neotropical and includes 75 genera and 9 species. In their classification, they recognize 5 tribes and 12 subtribes. While in subfamily Didymocarpoideae, which is mostly the old world, the old Citrandoideae, which includes 71 genera and 2,350 species, and recognize 2 tribes, Epithematiae and tribes, are divided further into 4 subtribes and 10 subtribes respectively, totaling 14 subtribes in Didymocarpoideae. Concerning the world distribution of Gesneriaceae, this map has been taken from Webb et al. 2013. The triangle represents the Sanangoideae, monotypic family, subfamily Sanangoideae, while the white eclipse shows the Titanotrachum of the Old World, while The yellow eclipses represents the core gesnerioids of the Besseriae, Nepenthiae, and Gesnerioideae. Altogether, which represents the red ones represent the Trichosporiae of Didymocarpoideae. So among the distributional pattern we can find, the most of the or bulk of the gesnerioids are represented by Didymocarpoid gesnerioids and rest by the core gesnerioideae. Coming on to the situation in India, C.B. Clark made a detailed analysis, detailed floristic enumeration of the gesnerioids in flora of British India, recognizing 20 genera, and still that was the one flora that we are still using, while Moller et al. Made an updated checklist of genera occurring in India based on the recent molecular work. And the changes are, the following changes have been found in the revised account of Gesneriaceae of India, where 4 genera has been added from subsequent collections, which include Beckerindia, Hemiboea, Coriocaris, and Petrocosmia, while Isanthera has been merged under Corticum, which under has been placed under Corallodiscus, while another species of Didysandra has been moved to Oriocaris. Boea multiflora now placed in a new genus called Middletonia, and Boea welchi under a new genus called Dorcosira. Some Spirita, Hengilia, one to Microcarita and another to Loxostic macruci. By count, we can find 23 genera and 134 species in Gesneriaceae of India. And the Gesneriaceae of India shows a clear phytogeographic division within India, mostly concentrating on the northeastern India and southern peninsular India. Around 109 species are found in northeastern India, while 24 species in South India and 6 species in Andaman and Nicobar Islands. The character for differentiating Gesneriaceae are the pair-flowered cymes, which shows that usually the pair-flowered cyme means the central position is occupied by one more flower instead of a single flower. And this is a usual character, typical character of Gesnerioids. It also shared by Calceolariaceae. Other characters include the leaves, opposite leaves, sometimes in whorls of 3 or 4, while the old world Gesnerioids strong anisophilia is noticed, while in new world Gesnerioids isophilia is noticed, and pentamerous bisexual flowers, usually 4 or 2 stamens, in which the anthers are fused face to face, and annular or one-sided disc. And other important character is the one locular ovary and parietal placentation. Now move on to the scenario in India with the subtribes and genera and species. Altogether, there are 9 subtribes are represented in India, 3 under tribe Epithymatiae and 6 under tribe Didymocarpoideae. And the 3 subtribes represented in tribe Epithymatiae, one is tribe Loxotidae with a single species. The Loxotidae is represented by the genus Ringoglossum, and the most important character for differentiating Loxotidae include the strongly anisophilous leaves, personate corolla, and the unilateral inflorescence. This is monotypic, represented by a single genus, Ringoglossum. As I said earlier, Ringoglossum is one of the genus that show transcontinental distribution. Even though it is mostly distributed in the Malaysian region, India there are 4 or 5 species with 30% distribution, and of which 3 are endemic. So the 3 major characters for differentiating the Ringoglossum genus are the anisophilous decussate or alternate leaves with strongly asymmetrical leaves, terminal unilateral inflorescence, and enlarged lower lip of corolla. The taxonomic status of one of the species has been problematic or for considerably long time. The Ringoglossum scabrum for long been considered either as a variety of Ringoglossum nortonianum or as under synonymy of nortonianum. We have undertaken a detailed study of this genus, of this species, based on morphological, anatomical, palynological, and other data, and found that Ringoglossum scabrum is a distinct species, can be separated from nortonianum based on morphological ground, based on molecular ground, and also on palynological ground. And the geographical distribution of these 2 species also differs. Nortonianum prefers high altitude areas, whereas that of scabrum prefers low altitude areas. In both Nortonianum as well as scabrum have blue corolla, but an yellow spot near the glandular patch is observed or found in Nortonianum, while scabrum has a blue spot. The molecular data or molecular tree also shows a separate clade for Ringoglossum nortonianum and Ringoglossum scabrum. And this work has been collaborated with Professor Michael Muller, and the result has been under preparation. Another subtribe of tribe Epithymatiae is tribe Sapninae. There are 2 genera under this subtribe, Loxonia and Storanthera. And 2 important characters of Loxoninae is the alternate clad styles and the conspicuous plication at the sinuses of surface. There is 1 genus represented in India, it is Storanthera. They are perennial herbs with strongly anisophilous leaves, terminal alternate cladic thyres, sepals with conspicuous plications, and there are about 7 species in the world, 2 occurs in India. Recently, a new variety has been described, Storanthera ambrosa, variety Ubendra from India. The subtribe Epithymatiae is also monospecific, monotypic with epithema. And the most important character for differentiating epithema are the solitary leaf and unequal leaf pairs following the extremely unequal cotyledons. Inflorescence a thyres which is greatly condensed, hair flowered cyme embraced by its subtending leaves. These are some habit photographs of Epithema carnosum that we have taken from southern India. And there are about 20 species in the world, 3 in India and 1 is endemic. And one of the interesting mechanism of epithema is the splash cup dispersal of seeds, in which the fused calyx form a splash cup through which the dispersal of seed happens. The subtribe Gerdroninae is another interesting group, subtribe, which is also monotypic and monospecific with Jardonia indica white. This is the only genus endemic to India, and it is often considered as a basal Asiatic genus. And the genus is also characterized by a lot of unusual characters. Flattened staminal filaments uncommon in the Gesneriaceae. Isocotyledonous seedlings uncommon in Old World Gesneriaceae. So this Gesnerias, this Jardonia is very much significant for the study of for the study. But the usual typical characters of Gesnerias are also present in Jardonia. The inflorescence is a pair-flowered cyme, and the presence of 4 stamens and the septicidal ligations of the capsular fruit make it basal Asiatic genus. And this is endemic to the southern Western Ghats. We have made a detailed analysis of Jardonia. We are collaborating with the Institute of Botany, Chinese Academy of Sciences with Professor Insen Wang. We have made the floral ontogeny. We have made detailed studies on the molecular phylogeny. We have made detailed studies on the presentation, seed, and palynological data, based on which the position of Jardonia in Gesneriaceae is re-established. Subtype Corolodicinae is another basal Asiatic genus, which has steadily dehiscing capsule and presence of a tetrandrous antricium and clearly zygomorphic corolla. And in Corolodiscus, it usually grows on rocks and rock crevices within forest or above the forest line, which has around 6 species in the world. Two or three occurs in India, and the distribution is mainly Bhutan, China, India, Nepal, and Thailand. The corolla is either blue to purple or rarely yellow to white. Subtype Tetraphyllinae. This is another monogeneric group and then represent another basal Asiatic genus of Trichosporiae, which has long, erect, apparently monocarpic stems bearing tetramerous flowers, tetramerous leaf well at the top. The inflorescence, flowers rising from the leaf axis from dense sessile clusters. Is represented by only one species, Tetraphyllum bengalines. They are perennial herbs with monocarpic stems, tetramerous whorl of single leaf pair at the top and pairs of scale leaves. Corolla is pink or blue, widely funnel shaped, stamen spot, didynamous or 2, and thus coherent at their tips. About 3 species in the world and 1 in India. The subtype Leptoboinae includes 6 genera, forms a basal lineage of Trichosporiae. Most important diagnostic character of Leptoboinae is the inconspicuous or capitate stigma, which is uncommon in other basal lineages. There are 6 genera in Leptoboinae: Boica, Leptoboia, Ringoticum, Platystema, Championia, and Beccarinda, among which Boica, Leptoboia, and Ringoticum are coalescent and ligescent plants with tetrandrous flowers, while Ringoticum has indehiscent berry-like fruits. Platystema is rhizomatous with quasi-monophylous aerial shoots. Beccarinda is a small genus of 8 species distributed in South Asia. It is considered as advanced Asiatic and Malaysian genera by Weber et al. 2004. It is a perennial herb or rarely substrate with only basal leaves with leafy unbranched stem. The indumendum is also very particular, where it is white, fawn, brown, or reddish purple hairs. About 9 species in the world, 1 Beccarinda cordifolia in India. The distribution ranges from northeastern India, Myanmar, South China, Laos, Vietnam, and Indonesia. Boica is another genus which have a better distribution in India. Out of the 16 species, 7 are distributed in India. They are usually subshrubs or perennial rhizomatous herbs. The leaves are alternate, spaced along the stem, tufted or forming a basal rosette. Their cymes are lax or dense, 1 to many flowered. Stigma capitate. During the recent years, 2 species have been described from India, Boya clarki and Boya arunachalensis, and 1 species recently reported from Arunachal Pradesh is Boica multinervia. The genus Leptoboya is also another small genus of terrestrial shrubs with opposite leaves. Their cymes are umbellate, 3 to 5 flowered. Corolla whitish with purple spot at the base or of upper lobes. Stamens with free anthers. About 2 species in the world, both in India. And recently, Leptoboya multiflora, subspecies Grandifolia has been reported from Andaman and Nicobar Islands. In Rhynchoticum is an understory subshrubs with relatively small flowers and white berry type of fruit. This is considered as a basal Asiatic genus. The small flowers may indicate insect pollination, while the white berries could be well dispersed. Around 20 species in the world, 7 species in India, of which 2 are endemic. They are subshrubs or shrubs. Their leaves are opposite or alternate. Cymes few to many flowered. Corolla white, cream, or pink, or in various shades of purple to red maroon. Stamens are 4, they are included. The berries are ovoid or globose. Another genus of the subtribe Loxocarpinae is Loxocarpus. They are Asian and Malaysian genera with predominantly twisted fruit. This is very important for diagnosing species of subtribe Loxocarpinae. Altogether, there are 13-15 genera, 2 in India. The genus Dorcosiras has been recently resurrected to accommodate 4 species of Boya. The important characters include rosette habit, campanulate corolla, inserted stamens, and 2-valved capsules, which are spirally twisted. And about 4 species in the world, but we have in India only Dorcosiras wallichi alone occurs in India, which is previously the Boya wallichi. The distribution is China, Thailand, Cambodia, Philippines, India, and Indonesia. Then Middletonia is yet another genus which was recently segregated from Paraboya. The erectanthus, reticulate tertiary venation, minutely glandular intimentum, and considerably smaller corolla and shorter fruit are some of the important diagnostic characters of Middletonia. About 4 species in the world, 1 species, Middletonia multiflora, the previous or earlier Boya multiflora or Paraboya multiflora alone occur in India. Coming to the largest subtribe, Didymocarpinae. Much of the old word gesnarioids belongs to Didymocarpoid gesneriaceae, of which the subtribe Didymocarpinae is the largest, accounting around 30 genera. The Eschinanthus is one of the largest genera. The studies on Eschinanthus are also supported by Science Engineering Research Board of India, New Delhi. They are epiphytic or lithophytic subshrubs. Their leaves are rarely whorled. The corolla are usually bright red or rarely orange, yellow of various hues and shades, and commonly called the lipstick plant. About 179 species in the world, around 16 to 25. In India, 3 endemic. Some of the important characters for differentiating Eskinathus group or stamens which are didynamous and also long excited stamens, others cohering in pairs, the linear capsules locally dehiscent, small seeds with hair-like appendages at one end or at both ends. Septandra is another genus, which is most species of the Gesneriaceae, with around 600 to 800 species in the world. Two in the Andaman Islands. Recent phylogenetic studies suggest that Septandra evolved in Southeast Asia. The vast majority of the species are single island endemics, with the entire range of species often being restricted to a single valley or mountain region. The flowers are produced in various shades of white, yellow, purple, pink, or red. The fruit, as in Eskinathus, are indehiscent capsule or berries. Centers of diversity are Borneo, New Guinea, the Philippines, and the Pacific Islands. This is one of the largest genus of the Didymocarpoid Gesneriaceae. Earlier, Didymocarpus includes around 180 species, and this has been recently resurrected by Weber, removing the Henkelia and restricting the concept of the Didymocarpus to northeastern Indian, Nepal, southwest to Malayan Peninsula and Sumatra. Now it includes 98 species, 26 in India. This is the second largest genus of Gesneriaceae in India, of which 13 are endemic. That means 50% of the species are endemic. Recently, 2 species have been described from India. They are Didymocarpus molleri and Didymocarpus cyanoindicus. The Didymocarpus are characterized by perennial terrestrial or saxicolous herbs, leaves decussate in pairs, tines to triangulate few many, rags to free or opposite, corolla in various shades, usually of claret colored, and stamens too included and others cohering. Capsule usually stipitate, bivalve, and illicitally. Hemiboea is another genus of the subtribe Didymocarpoideae. Still with one fertile carpel and follicle-like capsules, highest species diversity in southern and southwestern China. The genus Metabrixia, including 2 species, has been sunk into Hemiboea by Weber et al. 2011. Over the last 2 decades, almost 12 new taxa have been described under this genus, especially from the southwestern China. The flowers are enclosed by large connate bracteoles, forming a boat-shaped semi-globose ursulate involucre. Altogether in the world, there are 36 species and 5 varieties. We have only 1 species, Hemiboea subcapitata, in India. Coming on to the largest genus of Gesneriaceae in India. Henkelia is the largest genus of Gesneriaceae in India, which has long been placed under the synonymy of Didymocarpus. Presently, there are 74 species in the world, 35, around 47% in India. 14 out of 15 species of South Indian Henkelia are endemic. And the distribution ranges from Sri Lanka, southern and northeastern India, Nepal, Bhutan, southern China, northern Vietnam, northern Laos, northern Thailand. This is the world distribution of Henkelia. You can find the distribution zone Burma, Malaysia, not Vietnam, India, etc. And 6 new species have been described from India to the Vienna, Henkelia bracteata, Henkelia padaki, Henkelia recognized by perennial or annual, coalescent or rosetiform or creeping, while others are either coalescent or equiescent forms. Corolla infundibuliform or more rarely tubular, tube open slightly smooth, and thus fused face to face. Stigma chirate. This is very important character of Engiri. Chiratoid stigma. Capsules, radiocarpate. Chirita section Chirita in the northeast and Sri Lanka, and those of Hengilia section Hengilia only found in Sri Lanka and only found in South India and one species in Ceylon. This is the habit and habitat of some South Indian Hengilia, which are all distributed in rocky plateau. Their stigma, as well as South Indian species. It. But in North Indian species, the one of the upper lobe, lower lobe, again bifurcated into two. So we can find bilobed stigma in North Indian species. Number of and to subglobose capsule. This is so far reported only from a single locality in South India. And we have made a molecular phylogeny of the Hengilia in South India, of which Hengilia prodibiana also form a separate clade, so easily differentiable in the molecular tree also. This is a new species that we described just recently, Hengilia gaussiana, and different in India, which is Loxostigma griffithii. They are terrestrial or epiphytic herbs with underground rhizome. Leaves opposite, strongly anisophilous. Stigma oblique bilamate. The bilamellate and the fruit sessile to and the heads of Lysionotus occurring in India are found in northeastern India. About 28 species in the world. Species have been recorded recently from northeastern India. Lysionotus have been recently described in Lysionotus by Flores, described from vineyard greenish calyx, glandular hairy corolla, gland-dotted other. The Chirita section, microchirita, into a very important character for differentiating species of microchirita. World over, Oreochirus have 109 species, with one species in India, Brixia masaicola, And they are perennial rosette plants with leaves spirally arranged, stamens 4 or 5 equal length of or didynamus. The capsules are bi or four-valved, loculically dehiscent. Petrocosmia, world over it has 43 species. One species, Petrocosmia pariorum, occurs in India. The major centers of distribution of Petrocosmia are Northeastern India, South China, Myanmar, Thailand, and South Vietnam. Some of the important characters for differentiating Petrocosmia include their perennial habit, few to many leaves in basal rosette, three-parted calyx, short-tubed calyx, corolla, two stamens with their anthers cohering at their tips, absence of nectary, and ovoid to oblong capsules. While coming on to the phytogeographic considerations for India, India harbors 23 genera in 134 species. In 3 out of 4 subtribes of tribe Epithymatiae and 6 out of 10 subtribes of tribe Trichosporiae. 9 out of 14 subtribes are represented in India. This high level of diversity underlines the biogeographic importance of India for the family Gesneriaceae. A clear geographic divide is present among the Indian Gesneriaceae, with 13 genera exclusively distributed in the north and predominantly in the northeast: Beccarinta, Boica, Didymocarpus, Dorcoceras, Hemiboea, Leptoboea, Loctostema, Lysionotus, Middletonia, Oriocaris, Petrocosmia, Platystema, and Tetraphyllum occurs only in the northeast. And they represent mostly westward extension of genera within the main centers of distribution. While Eschinanthus, Corolla discus, Epithema, Henkelia, Microcarita, Ringoglosum, and Ringoticum have members in North and South India. These genera cover 5 subtribes in both tribes, which indicates that the old world Gesneriaceae were more widespread in the past across this country. Corolla discus is especially interesting because of their wide distribution of one species occurring in India. Diversity in Andaman and Nicobar Islands, where we can find 9 species in 6 genera. Eschinanthus has 3 species, Citranda 2 species, Epithema, Leptoboea, Ringoticum, and Storanthera 1 species each. These represent 3 subtribes of both Old World tribes Epithymatiae and Trichosporiae. Occurrence of Citranda and Storanthera in Andaman and Nicobar Islands indicate the influence of Malaysian flora. Concerning the endemism, 18 out of 24 species in South India and 29 out of 109 species in Northeast India are endemic. 26 species of North India are endemic. 1 species in Andaman and Nicobar Islands is also endemic. Thus, approximately 35% of the genus are endemic. At the genus level, we have Jardonia with Jardonia indica as endemic. While considering to the species status, 20 out of 35 species of Hengelia, 3 out of 21 in Eschinanthus, 13 out of 26 in Didymocarpus, 2 out of 8 in Lysionotus, 3 out of 7 in Boica, 3 out of 4 or 5 in Ringoglosum, 2 in Ringoticum, and 1 out of Microcarita are endemic. These are the habitats of Gesneriaceae both in South India as well as in Northeastern India, especially of the rocky areas and most covered areas are the usual habitats of Gesneriaceae. And these images reflect some of the field collection trips, especially in the northeastern regions. And we have a Gesneriaceae conservation area in the Calicut University Botanical Garden. And we are also maintaining live collections in the Botanical Garden there. And we are also these are the group we are collaborating, and we have few students we are working with me, and this is our research team. Thank you one and all for your patience hearing.
Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Nampi, for your wonderful lecture on the work you have done on different aspects of different families. And today is a very special day for all of us. And it is a very rare occasion, and it's a great honor for the awardee to receive the award by a person in whose name the award has been instituted. And it is a rare Todd Stussy for sparing his valuable time and is, of course, gracing the occasion. Professor Stussy, a few comments. Would you like to say something?
Sorry, Arun, you're asking if there were any questions? Arun?
Now it is difficult to ask questions. It's an award giving lecture, award lecture.
Oh.
So just come with your comments, sir.
Well, can you hear me all right?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
you are audible.
Pardon me?
You are audible.
Can you hear
Yeah,
me?
please.
Yeah, well, this has been a wonderful lecture. You know, I got up kind of early this morning and was a little bit sleepy, but after this lecture, I'm wide awake. I feel great. So, Professor Nampi, thank you. That's really a wonderful overview of the Jasneri-AC. And it brought back a lot of memories because, you know, when I was in Vienna, Professor Anton Weber and also Miguel Keen, they both had interests in the family, and Dr. Mueller came too and worked and gave lectures and things. So it feels like I'm right back in Vienna listening to your talk. But there are so many interesting questions about this family. I've never dealt with it, but you know, there are so many species, and I'm just curious about some of the evolutionary mechanisms. Do you have any insights on, you know, the impact of chromosomal differentiation or ecological differentiation? What about the pollinators? And have they provided, you know, strong selection? You know, obviously some of them are bird pollinated with those long red corollas. Just what sort of comments might you have on that?
Some of the genera like Eskinanthus is wind pollinated.
Okay.
Bed pollinated.
Bat pollinated.
Bed pollinated, Eskinanthus. So that also, and again, the genus Rhincoglossum is also the dispersal to New World. It's also interesting aspect one. Rhincoglossum mostly Asiatic, but it has been dispersed to Malaysia, then to New World. While another genus that is having very interesting dispersal mechanism is Eskinanthus. Eskinanthus, it is bed pollinated. And at the same time, they have an efficient dispersal mechanism. That all.
क्या करे?
Hello. Hello.
Hello.
I'm here.
Yeah. So,
Is Professor Nampi still there?
yeah, he's there.
Okay. Well, I mean, thank you. That was a very helpful answer for me.
Yeah, okay. So, at the end, on behalf of the Chancellor of the University, Mrs. Manjula Tiwari, Pro-Chancellor Engineer Gaurav Tiwari, and on my own behalf, and also being President of the East Himalayan Society for Spermatophytes Taxonomy, I thank everyone everyone, and especially Professor Istusi for in the occasion, and congratulating Professor Nampi for his wonderful lecture. In fact, our founder secretary and the executive editor of Plion, Professor A.P. Das, is in hospital. You can see him in the dress. He has been diagnosed corona positive, and he has been instrumental. And in fact, he conceived the idea of having a society in the name of East Himalayan Society for Spermatophyte Taxonomy when he was head of the botany department, North Bengal University, and also he is regularly seeing the publication of the journal Plion, that it is published on time on 30th of June and 31st of December. And at the same time, we have with us Dr. Manoranjan Chaudhary, who is secretary of the EHSST, who has been cooperating in all our activities. And I thank all the distinguished participants who joined us uh, for this Professor Tadish Lucy Award function. Professor Das, you want to say something?
I just like to thank Professor Stusi. Sir, you have attended our meeting. We are so much over. We are so happy. Please try to attend our meeting in future also. Please, sir.
Thank you.
And I to Professor Nampi, sorry, I'm in hospital, so it will be little late to dispatch the medal. Just few days,
So-
let me return from the hospital.
So,
Okay.
from the society's office, the medal and certificate will be sent to Professor Nampi. And finally, this is the time to close the meeting, and I thank everyone for being with us today evening. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
অনেক কষ্ট হয়েছে। পরে মাস্টার